you have the weekly assignment as well. Please submit before your I think next Monday. The deadline is next Monday. Yeah, you can see my screen right now. Okay, let's start the session. Then today's topic is classes and objects. First, I explain what is the class, what is an object, why do we need classes, and why do we need objects, why should we care about that. These things we will discuss first. Then let's see the demonstration with the Python. Okay. Okay. I'll get the whiteboard. Okay. You can see my whiteboard, right? There. The concept is very simple. Imagine you have some details, right? You are a student. Your ID is here, your index number, then your mobile number, name, these kind of things you have as your details for identify you as a single person. But before that, then you all have same details, but different same details for particular people, but different details you have. For example, your ID number, registration number. You all have a registration number, but different from each other. Same as you are a student, right? Student. There is another student, but same details. For example, I will get name. This student has own name, then index. Imagine we will get a simple example. Then the both students have name and index, but I this student is ABC. The student is XYZ. Index is 1, index is 2. But let's see. If we consider another student, another new student, same details should have, right? Then he or she also has a name, also an index. You can see some pattern, right? Then same details for different people. In this case, all the students have a name and index, but particular details, the name and index unique for particular student, right? This name and index particular for this student is one. Then who is the presenting? Okay. This student has name and index also. So a little bit. Then This is student S2, then this student is S3. This student has same details but different values. Let's see. If we build a common structure for any student, right? This is a student with name and index. Okay. This is a common structure. If we can create a common structure, we can use the common structure for every student, right? This is easy. Rather than creating a same student multiple times with the different values. Only the values are changed, but the concept is remain unchanged. Then student is common structure. We can create from student called S1, then S2 up to Sn. We can create n number of students with the common pattern called student. SP. Is that clear? This is a need of a class. Class means we are creating a common structure called student. Using that structure, we can create different students. This is the class and object concept. Is that clear? Any questions so far? There is a common structure. Using that common structure, we will create different students. That's the whole story. Consider this one. In the programming world, the common structure is called as a class. This is a class, right? This is a class. Class means we are creating a blueprint of a student, right? This is a common structure for create a particular student. But we can customize the internal details as well. So we are using a class called student. We are creating separate students using that class. These are called as objects. We are creating an object. This is the class and object concept. Object. Okay. This is the class. This is an object. Is that clear? Let's see how we can create a class and how we can create an object using Python later. Before that, get the concept clearly. Then you can easily understand what I'm talking about. Also, you can create own classes and own objects. Okay, before moving to that, I give some additional things. This is a different story. How we can create a student. Actually, machine don't know any classes, any objects, right? Okay, we are creating different objects in the memory. Object 1, object 2, object 3, object 2, object 3. Any number of objects we are creating in the memory, then we can get particular details from particular object. Okay, this is the story. Simply, you can get the concept of the class. This is a blueprint of an object. The object is creating with help of the class. Is that clear? Any questions so far? If you have any questions, you can unmute and ask, or you can simply put into the chat, then I will respond. Get the concept before we are moving to the coding part. You can see the micro insight. I'll explain in the classes and objects. We are creating a common structure for class. Then we are creating different objects using that class. Example, we are getting the student class with the details, name and index. Then we are creating different kind of students, all S1, S2 up to Sn. Okay, I close the whiteboard. Then we will get to the tutorial again. This actually class is the blueprint, or we are called as a prototype of a house. Imagine we are building a house. We should sketch a plan of the house. This is the class, right? After that, using that plan, we can create different kind of houses. These are the objects. Okay, let's check with the code. Open your notepad as usual. Then open the notepad. Then how can we create a class? The keyword is class, right? Class is the keyword. All right. Zoom a little bit. You can easily see what I'm doing. Then the class is the keyword for creating any kind of class. After that, with the space, we can create a class with any name. Okay, student. The class name is student. After the colon, you can enter. Then same thing. The indentation is the important part in the Python. You already know, right? In the functions, in the loops, we are using indentation. Then same as the loop of function, we are using the space within the class as well. Then the keyword is a class. After that, we are using any name for class. In this case, I'm getting the class name as student. The structure is the student. Then let's create the structure of the student. Then we have name. Okay, we have index. This is the structure. In this tutorial, explained in the employee employee class. The name is Alan. Salary is 50,000. Then we can create with the parameters. Then I can set the name as ABC or whatever. Then index is 1. This is the student class. Okay. This is the whole student class. Create the then I save the file as a Python file. Then the desktop. Classes.py or whatever. Save as whole file. Then save. After that, open the CMD. Then go to your desktop folder, desktop location, Python classes.py. nothing happened because we didn't print or input anything, didn't mention in the file. Just we created the class. The class name is student with the name ABC and index is 1. Do the coding part with me, then we can move into next part. If you are facing any question, please ask or put into the chat, then I will respond. Oh, cannot see the screen. Oh, sorry, okay. Then you can see the screen, right? Can you see my notepad? Yeah. Great. I will add the code again. The class is the keyword for create any kind of class. After that, with the space, you can create any class with any name. Then student is the name for this situation. After the colon, at some space, indentation is very important. Then we are creating variables. The name is ABC or whatever. Add your name. Also, our index. Index is 1. This is the class. Save your file as, in my case, I saved as a class as .py. Use any name for your Python file. Then save in any location. Then open the CMD as usual. Then execute your file. Nothing happens because of that. We didn't enter any print statement or anything. We are just created the class. Okay. After that, we created a blueprint, right? But this is not useful. We are creating a blueprint, but we didn't use this class, so we didn't create anything with the help of class. To do that, we are using this kind of uh, notation. Notation means we are using, in this case, class is employee, name is Alan, salary is 50,000. Then this is the representation of the class, but help of this class, there are two properties, name and salary. We are creating objects like this. EMP1 is an employee. How can we do with the student? I'm creating student 1. This is the name of the student. This is the name which is stored in the, we can identify the object in the from the memory, right? Student 1 is the name of the object. How can we create an object? Object we can create at the class name, then at the parentheses. That's how we are creating an object. Is that clear? This is the object we just created. This is the class. This is a blueprint. Also, this is the object. The name of the object is student1. We are creating the object with help of the student class. Then we will add the parentheses. Okay. Create the student1, then save. Run the file again. nothing happens. Why? Still we are creating a student object, but we didn't get any output or print any output. Then that's why we are getting an empty screen in the CMD. Okay. Let's see. How can we access the value of any objects and the properties of the object? Then the student one is the object. Student one has name and index. Try to print first. Try to print the student one. Student one. Then let's see the output. What's that? Main student object as 0x crazy number. We are printing the student, but we didn't get any name or index or whatever. We are getting 0x something. The reason behind that is we are creating an object. We created the object. If we print the object, reference is printed. Reference means this is the address of the object. Okay. In the memory, the address is printed. Then this is not useful for us. We want the name and index of the student one, not the student one address. This is the memory address, hexadecimal number. That's why we are getting this kind of output. How can we access the properties? The student one at the dot sign, the property name. In this case, the property name is also a name. Student one object dot anything. Anything means the any property name, index, name, or whatever. First, we will print the name. I think I didn't save. Let's save and try again. Okay. The name is ABC. Why is that? We are creating a student. We created the student one object with help of student class. In the student class, we are defining the name as ABC, index as 1. If we print the student one dot index, we will get the 1 as an output. Okay. Name is ABC, index is 1. Try to do that with me. Create the class called student. Create a student one object with help of student class. Then try to print properties of the student one, the name and index. If you have any questions, please ask for me. And you can see my code, right? Try to do with me. Is that clear? The class and object. Same time, in the same time, we are saying this kind. This is as we will create a story like that. We are creating a class, right? The class name is student. Name and index are the properties. These are the values. Okay. We are creating the student object called student one. This is the object name, and also we are creating with the student class and the parentheses. After that, we can access the properties student one dot. Always we are using the dot sign for access in the property within the object, the property of the object, then object name is student1, then dot sign for access, then property name is name, in this case index. That's why we are getting this output. Okay, I will create another object called student2 with help of student class. Okay, this is a different object. First, we will check student1 and student2 are different or not. I will try to print, I will comment these lines. You know how to comment, right? At the hash. Then these are not printed. Then we try to print student1 as well as student2. Let's see the output. Carefully check the address. This is the student1 and this is the student2. Check the address name 27AFFAC 86E0 for student1, then C550 is student2. Then you can say that student1 and student2 are the different objects, right? These are not the same, but the class name is same. We are helping with the, we are creating the student objects with help of the student class. Then student1 and student2 are the different objects with the student class. Okay. Did you get that point? Student1 and student2 are the different classes, and not the classes, the different objects, but we are created with the same class but different objects. That's why we can access student1 details and student2 details separately. We are creating different kind of students, same student, right? For example, let's explain with the example. You are using iPhones, right? You are using iPhone. Version is not needed, 14 or 17 or whatever. Then you are using the iPhone. Your friend is also using an iPhone. Exact same things are available for both iPhones, right? Then you can take photos, call a friend, or you can go to the internet, whatever you can do with the iPhone, exact same thing your friend also can. Okay, but two different phones, but the mother company, they are creating phones with common blueprint. This is the class. The common blueprint is the class. Okay, the class has some functionalities, make a call, taking photos, anything. With help of that common blueprint, they are creating different iPhones. That's how we are getting same features from each phones. Okay, that's how we are. You can call the call using your phone. Exact same thing we can do with your friend's phone. Did you get the point? Different objects, but with the help of same class. In this case, different students we created with help of student class. Then student one dot name and index. Let's try to print these details for student two as well. I'll comment. Let's save the file. Try to see what happened. ABC is the name and index is 1 for both objects. The reason behind that is we are creating the student with the ABC and name ABC and index is 1. This is common for student 1 and student 2. This is the problem one we are facing, right? We are creating student with the help of the student class. In the student class, we define the parameter names, not the parameter, the values. Properties are name, index with the value ABC and 1. That's why we are getting the same value for student 1 and student 2. Is that clear? If you have any questions, nothing inside the chat. Try to create different objects with student class. Try to see the same property names for both student 1 and student 2 objects. Considering the tutorial, the employee 1 is created with help of employee class, then print in the employee emp1 dot name, emp1 dot name, then definitely this will print the name is Alan. Salary is 50,000. In this line, we are changing the value as 42,000, not 50,000. This is the initial value. Then emp1 dot salary is we are assigning a new value 42,000. Okay, let's try to do that as well. This is student 1. I added this line. I created separate objects called student 1 and student 2. The same values they have. You saw that. After that, I am changing student 1 dot index as 2. I'm getting simple examples for your understanding, right? Student 1 dot index as 2. Then print. Before print, put into the chat what's the value of student 1 dot index and student 2 dot index. Put into the chat what I created the student 1 and student 2 objects. Then I changed the student 1 dot index as 2. Then I try to print student 1 object index and student 2 object index. What are the values do we expect? Put into the chat. 2, 1. For who? 2 is for student 1 and 1 is for student 2, or vice versa. Or 2 for both objects. Others, put your answers into the chat. Don't worry if the answer is right or wrong. Anything you can put into the chat. What are the values we are expecting for index values for student 1 and student 2 objects? Student 1 is 2, student 2 is 1. Okay. Student 1, the index is 2, student 2 index is 1. Okay. You are saying student 1 index is 2, student 2 index is 1. Okay, let's see the actual answer. I'll print student 1 dot index, and I'm printing student 2 dot index. Let's save the file. Yeah, answer is correct. Why is that? The very important point is, why is that? I changed the index, right? Student 1 dot index is now 2. Then uh, I'm adding the student details. Student 1 dot name is unchanged. Okay, ABC. But the student 1 dot index is changed to 2. Okay. In this case, student 2 is different from the student 1. That's why we are getting the student 2 index as student 2. Dot name is ABC. We didn't change that. Student 2 dot index is 1, not 2. 2 is only for student 1. Is that clear? This is for student 2. We changed the student 1 detail, the index of the student 1 to 2, not student 2. That's why we are getting 2 and 1. Yeah, good. You did hit the point. Then this is not a good way to create the object and access the values, because we are creating objects, we are manually doing override the values, right? Then by default the index is 1. Forcefully we are changing the index to 2 of the student 1 object. Then student 2 index is getting unchanged. The problem is, every time we are creating an object with help of the student class, we are getting the default value, right? Let's see. Imagine we should create a student with the name XYZ with the index 3 in one shot. How can we do that? In this case, we cannot do, because the default values are getting for name and index. That's why we are using the class constructors. Okay, that's why the constructor is getting important point. Then always we are creating the constructor with init method. The method is you are know the functions, right? The function is, if the function is within the class, we are specifically we are calling that function as a method. These are the keywords which we are using in the programming world. Definition of the function is def with a keyword for any function. Special function name is init, right? Init is the constructor function name always. How can we do that? I remove all the things. We are creating student class, but in this time we are using the constructor. How can we do the constructor, implement the constructor? Def is the keyword. You're already familiar with the functions as well. Then def is the keyword. This is the special function method, right? Why is the method? Method is the function which is inside any class. That's why we are calling that function as a method. Then def init function is a special function we are creating with the underscore init. Check. underscore and underscore, and two underscores. Then init. After that, again two underscores. Self name salary. I'll explain the self. Then underscore underscore init. Again two underscores. Self. What is this self? Self is helping access and update the values of particular object. I'll explain with the full code. Then we are getting parameters. You know the parameters of the function, name and index. These are the unique for every object. After that, inside the constructor, we are apply this name and salary, which we are getting as a parameter for particular object. Then in this case, self.student is the name, which is self.student.name. Name, which is the name we are getting as a parameter. Same thing we can do for index as well. Self.student dot index is the index value that we are getting as a parameter. Let's see. This is the class student. We have special method called constructor. This is the init function, underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Inside the parentheses, we are getting parameters. The self is here, name and index. But how can we create the objects using the student? Student one. In this time, student one is student. Always we are creating class with the capital letters. Remember that as well. Not if we are creating a class with the simple list, totally working code is working fine. But for maintain the code clean and easy to understand, then if we are seeing a capital letter, then we know, okay, this is the class. That's why we are maintaining the code, this kind of implementations for clean code, then understanding the code. Then student is the class name within the parameters. Before we are using the before we use the default values, right? A, B, C, and 1. That's why we are getting the same value for different objects as well. But in this time, we are customizing the objects with our particular parameters. Then within the student, I put the name as ABC and index is 1. Okay, similarly, student 2, this is the different object. The name of the student 2 is XYZ and index is 2. This is the whole story. Why we are initializing the constructor with 3 different parameters. The self is also a parameter, right? But we are providing only 2. This is the case. This is the need of constructor. Okay, this is init. Init method is constructor. Always self is acting as the current object, right? Right. Then name and index. The flow is here. We are creating the student one object with help of student class. We are providing A, B, C, and 1. Then self is default keyword for access our particular object. Then student one is the object. ABC is name and 1 is index, right? Then self dot student dot name is name. In this line, we are creating exact same thing which we did previously. Then which is student one dot name is assigned as ABC. Why is ABC? We are passing the parameter name as ABC. Then this parameter name is assigned to the self.student name. In this time, self.student is student1.name. Self.name, not student. Very big mistake. Self.name is name, self.index is index, right? In this case, student1 is the object we are accessing. The student1.name is the name which is passing as a parameter. Then ABC is the parameter. Then self.name is ABC. Student1.name is ABC. We provide the value for name property of the student1 object. Also, 1 is the index. Then student1.index is assigned as 1. 1 is assigned for student1.index, not the student. In this case, self.name and self.index. Similarly, same thing happen for different object student2. Then student2.name is XYZ. The student2.index is 2. Let's print the details of student1 first. Student1.name, student1.index. Similarly, print the student2.name and student2.index. Let's save the file and see the output. See, ABC and 1 for student1, XYZ and 2 for